This is the Nikon L35AF2 or L35AD2, part of the Nikon One Touch series. For the sake of my sanity, I'm going to be calling this camera simply the Nikon One Touch. The thought of saying L35AF2 100 times in the course of recording this voiceover is enough to make me wish for the sweet, sweet embrace of death. The One Touch was released in 1985 and was an upgrade to the previous Nikon L35AF from 1983. This One Touch has a 35mm f2.8 lens. The lens can focus decently close to subjects with a 0.7 meter to infinity focal range. It's a compact point-and-shoot camera, so no manual controls. It's equipped with autofocus, auto exposure, auto metering, auto pop-up flash. You get it, auto everything really. It boasts 11 fully automatic features in total. This was kind of the draw of the camera. It was a camera for the masses. The ad campaigns Nikon put out for the One Touch series of cameras really emphasized the notion that they were designed for everyone. And also, this is a strange ad I came across for a One Touch model.
Introducing the new 35mm automatic One Touch from Nikon. It puts great photography at everybody's fingertips.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about the camera itself. There's no filter thread on this fixed lens system. However, there's a pretty neat built-in barrier type lens cap. The camera is powered by two AA batteries, and I gotta say, in my experience, battery life is pretty off the chain. I haven't even thought about changing batteries just yet, and I've been shooting on this thing for about 8 months. The ergonomics are nice, the camera feels good in the hand, there's a nice grip, the strap is comfortable, I guess. It's not great. But forget about a magnesium alloy body, this camera is very plasticky. It feels pretty flimsy if I'm being honest. I actually had some issues with the back door of this camera just randomly ejecting at the lightest tap, whether it's your belt or if you put it down too hard or something like that. I'm not really sure if that's because I got this from Goodwill or if this is just kind of a design flaw of the camera itself. A little Google research really didn't answer my question either. And yeah, that is right, I copped this camera from Goodwill for $5. So enough talking about the specs and all that fun shit. Let's see what this little guy can do. I ended up doing the bulk of my shooting on this camera in Manhattan. The focal length, the size, and the weight made it stand out to me as the perfect, simple street shooter. Or at least the contender for that title. And I was right-ish. While the camera's compact size certainly isn't intimidating, the camera could be fairly inconspicuous in the right scenarios, but for the most part, that horrific rewind sound is sure to blow your spot anytime you decide to take a photo. So if you're trying not to get noticed out there, get ready for your subject to hear this every single frame. Yikes. The camera is fun to use though despite that, and to me being inconspicuous, it really isn't a make or break. It's not the most important thing on the planet to me. The viewfinder is acceptable and it's accurate enough. The shutter button, it feels flimsy, but hey, I mean, the whole camera does. It kind of feels like a toy, honestly. The full automatic nature of the camera really takes the thought out of shooting. And while that may be undesirable to many photographers, for the people just learning photography, this is a great tool to help you focus in on composition and on capturing moments. For those who are just learning how to shoot on film, it's a nice choice too. And for those looking to dabble in street photography, a camera like this would really help you think more about composing and timing and less about settings. But let's talk about the flip side of that philosophy. One issue that I encountered was the camera really didn't let me decide anything. If it wants to shoot in a crazy high shutter speed or a really closed down aperture, you have no say in the matter. It really can limit your creativity. You can sort of trick the camera. See, like this thing right here, it's the camera's light meter. So if you cover it up, you can force your camera to pop the flash up in broad daylight. And I get it, that's not really the type of control that I'm talking about here, but it is something, I guess. After I got over the whole settings thing though, I really did find the camera's simplicity fun. It's fun to use. I ended up blowing through several rolls of film rather quickly. After developing and scanning the negatives myself, I was honestly surprised at how accurate the autofocus is and how sharp some of the images were. Keep in mind I was mainly shooting on Tri-X 400 and Fujicolor Superia 200. All the negatives were developed black and white with the Rolei R09 one-shot stand development method, and you can check out a cool video on how to do that in the link below and on screen. and in the end card of the video. I should mention that all these photos have been scanned using this sweet little film scanner. I found it on Amazon, it was super cheap, and there's a review coming soon, TM. Alright guys, this is Editing Lou jumping in here. Obviously this voiceover was recorded before I discovered what was actually wrong with that film scanner. So if you want to learn more and about how I found homemade porn on it, you can stop this and go watch this video. Or you can watch it after and press subscribe. After my first run of things, the backdoor issue kinda became a major issue and ruined a roll of film, so I did what any mature adult would have done. After a little tape, I was right back out on the street. And I was glad I found a solution because I just so happened to come across a roll of Agfa Vista film. Now, Agfa Vista, if you're not familiar, is a color film that was recently discontinued. And I had never heard of it. Ironically, I read an article on Petapixel, and the next day I was helping my dad move, and he gave me his old camera, and within the camera bag, how about that, Agfa Vista film. I was a little bit concerned about developing it myself because, discontinued film and all, so I decided to send it out to the darkroom in California, and I was really thrilled with the results. So here's a few more for you to check out, but I ran out of voiceover, so just enjoy the music. I gotta say, I really love this camera. I had a really good time shooting on it despite the lack of controls and despite the door flapping open. And I'm sure that's just because it's used and in crappy condition. I might even try to find myself a One Touch that's in better shape soon. I would have preferred to have some type of control on those manual functions, but I understand what this camera is. It's a camera for the masses. It's a camera for people that are starting out. It's good for people that want to dabble in film photography, and it's good for people who want to mess with street photography. Capturing a moment without getting caught up in settings, worrying about your composition, and all in all, enjoying photography. That's what this camera is about. If you're a beginner, if you're looking to learn more about photography, I think you can really do a whole lot worse than the Nikon One Touch. Whew, okay, well that was a lot. As my 11th grade English teacher would say, I just shot my wad, and no, that's not a joke. And aren't you proud of me for not calling this the Nikon Bad Touch once the entire video? I was really tempted to call it the Nikon Bad Touch the whole video. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Smash subscribe, share the fucking video, why not? I curse too much. Alright, bye. Here we go, we're gonna use the standing desk for this voiceover, boys and girls. Oh shit. Capturing moments and not getting fuck! And all in all, enjoying photography for the perfect, simple street shooting. Woo! It's a fucking disaster. Why can't I do this? Just the horrific rewind sound is sure. I ended up doing. Let's wait for this plane. Because that's what we always do here at Sweet Lou Photography. Oh, email's great. It feels pretty plim color. I don't know what film that was. And a color. God. And to me, being inconspicuous isn't really the most important thing on the planet.